Hi guys, today we are going to discuss about urine formation. Okay, urine formation, there are 3 steps involved. Okay, first step is glomerular filtration. Glomerular filtration. Glomerular filtration. First step. Second step is tubular reabsorption. Tubular reabsorption. Third step is tubular secretion. Tubular secretion. These 3 steps involved in the urine formation. Okay? Yeah. We did complete the glomerular filtration in previous class. We did complete this. Okay? Now we are going to discuss about tubular reabsorption. We are going to discuss today class tubular reabsorption. What is tube? What is reabsorption going to take place? We are going to discuss about it. Okay? Tubular reabsorption. Absorption to something taking. Okay? Tube. This is the artery, capillary. Okay? Capillary carry the blood. Okay? Capillary always permeable to ions, salts, water. Capillary is permeable because of their structure is made up of with epithelial tissue, endothelial cells, epithelial tissue, modified endothelial tissue. This is the blood carry flow the like in the capillary network. Okay? This is the blood carry in the capillary. Blood as such ionic concentration, blood as such ionic concentration, that is the ionic concentration is 300 osmolarity, 300 osmolarity. What is 300 osmolarity in the blood? If take the 1 liter blood, mean 1000 ml of blood, in the 1000 ml of blood, there are 300 ions are there, different kind of ions, either sodium or potassium, chlorine, calcium, okay, HCO3, water, these kind of any kind of ions are there, 300 ions per 1000 ml, mean 1:3 ratio, 1:3 ratio, 1% ions are there in the 1 liter. Okay? This is about ionic concentration of blood. Blood osmolarity is how much? Blood osmolarity how much? Blood osmolarity is 300 is there. Blood osmolarity is 300 ml. Okay? Guys, this is about the capillary network. Capillaries as carry such a blood which is as 300 ml osmolarity, 300 osmolarity. We can call ionic concentration. Ionic concentration. Okay? So, if the blood capillary carries such a ionic concentration blood into some other medium, mean there is blood capillary to carry their blood into different kind of organs in the body. So, yeah, different kind of organs, if they carry the blood of this much of ionic concentration, that such organs are same ionic concentration. blood capillary, blood capillary, blood capillary, blood capillary carries blood into different organs or tissues in the body, different organs or tissue in the body. So, such a blood has 300 ml osmolarity. At the same time, this organs as such osmolarity of 300, as such osmolarity 300. If they do not have such a osmolarity, what happened? Okay, there is any equilibrium going to take place between that organ and as well blood capillary. So, almost in the body, the interstitial fluid as such osmolarity mean such ionic concentration which blood have. Interstitial fluid is what? Interstitial fluid is the fluid which is through the tissue of such organs. Okay, we are going to discuss about it detailed manner. Okay, yep. So, yeah. Yes, this is one of organ kidney. This is one of organ kidney. Kidney as such a tissue like parts. This is medulla and cortex. This is cortex in the kidney. This is the medulla of the kidney. Okay. If the blood vessel carry the blood, this is the capillary, carry the blood into the kidney, blood as such 300 osmolarity, 300 ml ions per liter this blood, and as well this kidney as such osmolarity, kidney also same osmolarity, mean kidney has such two parts, two regions are there. One region is medulla, one region is like cortex. We are going to discuss their osmolarity. Okay? Yes. This is the kidney, medullary part kidney. This is the medullary part of the kidney. This is the cortex part of the kidney. Medulla, cortex. Medulla, cortex, two regions are there in the kidney. So, if the nephron from the cortex to enter into the medulla, this is the nephron which is enter into the medulla, cortex to medulla. This region has separate osmolarity. This region, cortex region, has separate osmolarity 300 ml as such as like blood as same of the blood vessel. Blood vessel, how much osmolarity is there? this is the cortex region, also same like osmolarity. But this medullary region is separate. Medullary region is interstitial fluid of the medullary is concentration, high concentration. Interstitial fluid, interstitial fluid of medulla is higher than blood of capillary. So in this way, interstitial fluid mean there is a tissue or cells in the kidney and as well capillary network called interstitial fluid. Mean I am going to explain clear. This is the capillary carry the blood into any organ. This is the organ, guys. This is the organ, such organ, lungs, kidney, liver, anything. Okay. This is the tissue of this organ. Blood enter through the capillary. This capillary directly enter into the organ. This capillary has 300 ml osmolarity, and this tissue, what about this tissue? Tissue has such cells and such fluid. This is the fluid, interstitial fluid. Not the blood which is entered. The blood capillary is different, and as well this organ is different. Okay. Between them there is a space which is fluid, filled fluid. That is the fluid is interstitial fluid. If come to the kidney, kidney has such parts, nephron in the medulla and cortex. In the cortex region and medulla region there is a nephron. Okay. We are going to discuss nephron structure with the interstitial fluid. This is the Henle loop. This is the Henle loop of the medullary part. And what about cortex region? Okay. Okay. This is the DCT and Bowman's capsule. Okay. This is the DCT and this is the nephron. Kidney part. This is the kidney part, nephron. And this is the capillary network, mean glomerular, efferent arterial, further divide into capillary, blood capillary. So here look into this. This is the blood capillary which has 300 osmolarity. What about interstitial fluid? Interstitial fluid is located here around the nephron in the kidney part. This is the interstitial fluid. But in the kidney it is maintained different type of osmolarity. Up to here is different, osmolarity. If come to the nephron, this like this part, like medullary part, this medullary part, Henle loop, osmolarity will increase. increased, mean this is first cortex region as 300 osmolarity like blood. Blood and cortex region as it is same 300 osmolarity. Okay. If come to this descending order, it is increase, osmolarity increase 400, 500, 600, 700, 900, 1000 and finally it reach 1200 osmolarity. 1200 ions is there. If come to the Henle loop downward. Okay. As it is blood and blood vessel, this is the blood vessel which is capillary network as 300 only, like cortex region also 300 only. In this osmolarity, the ions were supposed to be high, they can transfer into the low, okay, from high volume to low volume. Ions are transported always ions are transported from high to low. So, here ions are transported because of this is the blood vessel, capillaries are highly permeable to the ions. This is all about the concentration gradients of ions in different kind of places. Mean in the kidney there is an organ, interstitial fluid is different and capillary interstitial fluid is different. There is a ion exchange going to take place between those regions. So, we are going to discuss the reabsorption, where the ion going to be reabsorbed in the nephron, in the mechanism of urine formation, where the ions are reabsorption going to take place. What is the mechanism? We are going to discuss about this. This is the mechanism where the lack of ions, where the interstitial fluid are very low, where the interstitial fluid is high. Okay? Between the two different regions, they can exchange. Okay? Yes. We are going to discuss about it. Okay? In the urine formation. Tubular reabsorption. Tubular mean blood vessel, capillary. Okay? Capillary reabsorption. Tubular reabsorption. Blood capillary reabsorption. We are going to discuss about it. Okay? This is the nephron. This is the Henle loop of the nephron. This is the PCT, this is the DCT, this is the renal tubule, this is the glomerular, enter into the renal tubule, this is the capillary of the renal tubule. Okay guys, there is a reabsorption going to take place in different part of the nephron. This is the PCT part, this is the Henle loop, descending Henle loop, this is Henle loop, ascending Henle loop, this is the DCT, this is the collecting duct. These are the parts of the nephron. different segment, different part of the nephron has different functions to reabsorption. Meanwhile, the reabsorption going to take place from this part up to here, PCT, descending Henle loop, ascending Henle loop, descending Henle loop, ascending Henle loop. These three part reabsorption going to take place, this obligatory reabsorption, obligatory reabsorption. Obligatory reabsorption means there is no external factor involved, there is no condition, there is no condition, not conditional reabsorption. Obligatory reabsorption going to take place these three parts, PCT, Henle loop, PCT and Henle loop, ascending Henle loop and descending Henle loop, and PCT going to take place obligatory reabsorption, okay. And DCT part and collecting duct, this is the conditional reabsorption, going to take place. Conditional reabsorption means influence of hormone, under control of hormones, this reabsorption going to take place. We can call it as facultative reabsorption, going to take place these two parts, collecting duct and DCT. This is most important, guys, for exam point of view. Facultative reabsorption means conditional reabsorption under hormonal influence going to take place these regions, which is DCT and collecting duct. But this is the PCT and Henle loop, both Henle loop, going to take place obligatory reabsorption. There is no external force going to take place according to their wish, they can transport according to their wish, okay. Yeah, in the PCT what going to happen of the reabsorption, what type of reabsorption going to take place in the PCT, we are going to discuss, okay. PCT. PCT part, okay. PCT part, what is going to happen? This is the Bowman's capsule. In the Bowman's capsule, this region PCT, this region PCT. If the blood enter into this, this is the capillary, blood capillary. This is the lumen of the nephron, PCT part and blood capillary. So, we are going to discuss reabsorption, right? Reabsorption in the PCT part of the nephron, PCT part of the nephron. So, reabsorption going to take place mean where there is a absorption, where there is a secretion, where there is a diffusion going to take place, there is a epithelial cells are the modified. Here this tube, this renal tube completely made up of with epithelial tissue, and as well this blood capillary walls are also modified epithelial cells, we can call endothelial tissue. Okay? Yeah. Epithelial tissue is modified. Here, what kind modification going to take place here? Okay? This region, PCT region, as such epithelial tissue modification is like this type of epithelial tissue is there, PCT part. This part epithelial tissue we can call cuboidal epithelial tissue, cuboidal epithelial tissue, epithelial tissue. But guys, just think, per day 180 liter of fluid filters. In that 180 liter, only 1.5 liter excrete. Guys, just think, here net filtration rate 125 ml per minute. The filter is going to take place in the glomerular, mean 180 liters per day. So, in this 180 liter, we can excrete only 1.5 liter, mean 99% reabsorption, where different part of the nephron 99% going to take place, the reabsorption. So, PCT is the part also involved in the reabsorption. This PCT part also involved in the reabsorption. How much? 70 to 80% among 99%. 70 to 80% reabsorption going to take place in the PCT part. So, this is the cuboidal epithelial tissue involved in this reabsorption. This cuboidal epithelial tissue not enough for the reabsorption. They modified into brush border cuboidal. They modified into the brush border cuboidal, increase their surface area for 80%, 70 to 80% reabsorption going to take place in the PCT part. What the reabsorption going to take place? The filter is going to take place sodium, potassium, like glucose, ions, different kind of ions, glucose, ions. So, such like chlorine, such ions are filtered here. If just look into this, if glucose is like filter here in the lumen of the nephron, if it is exit through the collecting duct, glucose in the urine is not good at all. Okay, that should be reabsorption take place somewhere. Okay, yes. So, in this way, the PCT part, there is a cells, cuboidal epithelial tissue. If come to the collecting duct, if come to the this part has such cells of the endothelial cells. This part is what? Capillary blood. Okay, reabsorption going to take place from PCT to this part into the blood, mean reabsorption going to take place into the capillary, okay, from the lumen of the nephron. Okay. This capillary, these ions, potassium, sodium, these kind of ions what we require, they again reabsorption into take place this place. But you have to think this, there is a space between these two regions, we can call interstitial fluid, interstitial space, interstitial space. The fluid here we can call interstitial fluid, interstitial fluid. This region as such cells, this region as such cells, there is a ion exchange is going to take place between two regions, two kind of cells. Okay. In this way, there is a mechanism followed by these elements. Okay. We are going to discuss about sodium first. Sodium. Okay. Sodium and potassium. Sodium and potassium. In any interstitial fluid or any cell, okay, this is the cell ionic balance as such, this cell as such ions called potassium. Sodium is there in the out of the cell, sodium. Here look into this, this cells, brush border epithelial cells. Okay, and as well this is the endothelial cells. Okay. Sodium always trying to enter, potassium always trying to exit because of high concentration to low concentration. Sodium high concentration out of the cell, potassium within the cell there is a high concentration. In that way sodium always trying to enter, potassium always trying to exit. This pump we can call sodium potassium pump, sodium potassium pump. This channel we can call leakage channel, to maintain ionic concentration between those regions, mean interstitial fluid into the cell. If look into this, this is the absorption going to take place in the cuboidal epithelial tissue. Sodium is coming to this cell, sodium came, this is absorption is going to take place here from interstitial fluid to this capillary network, sodium enter, which is reabsorption going to take place in the PCT part, reabsorption going to take place, sodium, mean sodium which is filtered in the Bowman's capsule through the glomerular, and that is the sodium is trying to enter into the capillary fluid, like capillary cells, mean sodium trying to enter into the capillary, mean reabsorption going to take place within the tissue, within the cell, mean sodium always enter into the cell. In that same way potassium going to exit from this into the lumen, potassium always exit into the lumen. This is the transport we can call active transport. In this active transport, there is sodium ion enter 3 ions, potassium ions 2 ions exit, potassium ion 2 ions exit in this active transport mechanism. 3 sodium ions, 2 potassium ions together to exit in this pump, to consume one ATP, to consume one ATP. In the active transport, there is a utilization of energy. Okay, ATP is consumed in the active transport. This is the one point, main point. Mean one ATP to consume for 3 ions, 3 Na ions enter into the tissue, and 2 ions, potassium ions, exit from the cell. This is active transport, guys. Active transport is going to take place in the PCT. This is the question. This is the point important for the NEET. Active transport going to take place in the PCT part only. In the PCT part only. We will going to discuss in different region further. Okay? Yes. So sodium itself do not, only sodium itself do not enter into the blood, do not, like they enter into the blood capillary to absorb. Along with sodium, glucose also enter. Glucose also reabsorption going to take place. This is symphony like transport system. Okay, mind it. And as well, potassium exit mean secretion is going to take place in the PCT part. And one more important thing, potassium itself secretes, potassium itself absorb in the PCT region. This is the most important point for the NEET. Most of the students they know potassium excrete in the PCT. If they question, if the option give potassium also reabsorption going to take place in the PCT part, yes, potassium reabsorption going to take place, and as well secretion also going to take place in the PCT part. And as well HCO3 bicarbonate, HCO3 minus also reabsorption going to take place. HCO3 minus also reabsorption going to take place in the PCT part. Okay, cool. And ions like calcium, chlorine also going to take place, chlorine also going to take place reabsorption. But hydrogen ions they can secrete. Hydrogen ion they can secrete to maintain pH value, urine. Hydrogen ions, this is the most important, guys. Hydrogen ions are secretes from the blood vessel to the lumen of the nephron to maintain pH value of the urine 6.4. Thoda acidic to maintain pH value of the urine. Does it mean the secretion of the H plus ions? Okay, cool. Yep. Next, we are going to discuss through the slide, guys. Yeah, PCT part. Maximum reabsorption going to take place 70 to 80%. Active transport of Na, active transport mean consume 1 ATP for 3 Na ions plus 2 potassium ions, active transport. Okay. Reabsorption going to take place Na plus water, chlorine, potassium, just look into it, potassium, and calcium, bicarbonate, and glucose. Glucose completely, this is the most important, 100% glucose reabsorption going to take place in the PCT only. In the PCT part only, 100% glucose. They might give you certain amount of glucose itself to reabsorption going to take place in the PCT part, statement wise question, but here 100%. Okay, yep. And this is the one scenario, K plus reabsorption and K plus secretion. Secretions are what? Potassium, hydrogen, and ammonia. Ammonia very toxic, right? That should be eliminated within the particular region, initial region PCT. So, potassium, it reabsorption and as well secretion, reabsorption and as well secretion is going to take place. This is the important, okay. And ammonia, it is very toxic, so that should be eliminated within the initial stage of the part of nephron, and hydrogen reabsorption going to take place to maintain blood, to maintain pH value acidic of urine, which is 6.4, 6.4 guys. Some questions we have to look into that. Some questions. The part of the nephron involved in the reabsorption, Na ions, sodium ions. Which part? The part of the nephron, Bowman's capsule? No. PCT is the right answer, not DCT and Henle loop. Very simple question, NEET 2016 question, NEET 2016 question, NEET 2016 question. And this is 2015 AIPMT question. Human urine is acidic because H plus ions are actively secreted in the filtrate because of this acidic, or sodium transport exchange H plus ion for Na ion in peritubular capillaries. Is there any peritubular capillary region? No, you have to blindly remember PCT part, secretion of actively secrete filtrate in the PCT, okay. Actively secreted of H plus ion in the PCT, does it leads to the acidic of urine. This is nothing. Plasma proteins are not involved in the H plus mean power of hydrogen, that is mean acidic. You have to blindly remember, not peritubular capillary. If the enter H plus ion, if they enter into the blood, what does it mean? Maintain blood pH. Peritubular capillary nothing but blood, right? Blood carry, right? So, if the H plus ions enter into the blood pH change. If the H plus ions enter into the renal tubule, mean PCT part, mean that can be secreted from the blood into the lumen of the nephron. Does it mean it is maintain urine pH? Very simple, use common logic, okay. Yes, thank you. Today itself we are going to completed the PCT part of the reabsorption, and next Henle loop and collecting duct DCT part of the reabsorption coming to the class. Guys, this is NEET World, give you the best, always behind you for your success. Thank you.